was bad. And this one is bad too. It's not even bad like shocking anymore. It's bad like boring.
No, it's so fucking boring, except the end, the very end.
Yeah, we get like one half of
I'm
the
not gonna
scene.
lie.
That's it.
I got something to say about that, but I'm gonna wait until we get there.
Right? I guess let's start with 36.
Okay. 36 is boring.
Like, this is just another in a succession of filler chapters where it feels like we're just pumping the brakes here because we had so much momentum, and now she wants to fill this story in of their romance that is already entirely unbelievable, okay? Nobody believes that these two people are people that love each other or people in general. And, like, their relationship just further their inability to communicate basic things when they think that they're against this demonic or whatever entity together, and they won't even fucking communicate about shit.
No, and she gets pissed when he's uncomfortable about a fucking ghost that she hasn't even really gotten to see, and they have no idea what he's capable of. I think Michael is rational in that.
Yeah.
Only that. But
yeah, it's the only thing.
And respectfully, Anne has had 838 pages to build that romance. It's not our fault she spent all of them with these fucking files. She should have sorted out her priorities instead of trying to shove it in here. We're almost at the end. Give me something.
Well, the thing about it is like if like the romance building was like interspersed between the files, it would have been an easier read than what it feels like, especially because instead of like getting us invested in the characters, she's like done the opposite. I hate both of these characters. They're terrible people.
Yes.
I don't care what happens to them.
Nope.
And I think that the way that their attachment style with each other is
unhealthy,
toxic.
And instead she gives us these little tiny blips of Rowan chapters. Okay, the Michael chapters were all like talking about basically like she has a crush on him, and then these Rowan chapters, instead she shows Lasher fucking her on a plane while she's asleep. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? And like, I'm sorry, I live in Florida, so and Florida is a bad place right now. So them romanticizing the fuck out of northern Florida is not real. No. It's not real, and it just like adds to this whole Rowan's in La La Land in a fairy tale life, and she has the white privilege to do so. Rich white privilege. Okay, and I dog-eared a page. I don't have notes, but this page, because she said she's pissed because this house that she just got to up and fucking buy, not have to worry about anything. Of course the offer was accepted. Of course it was. Is that she can't dock a boat there.
Fucking like
Crimea River.
Right, yeah. It's not even a first world problem. It's beyond that. Like
beyond. Literally.
The whole I feel like this vibe of like everything going swimmingly though is like trying to set us up for like Lasher coming in and fucking everything up, but honestly all it's doing is boring me and making me want Lasher to come in and fuck them up even harder.
I've been saying this, and I started this book absolutely terrified of whatever Lasher was. Now I'm like, I don't care what he is. Explode my uterus if you need to. Get in there.
Please, like, do something. Because the other, like, also the fucking northern Florida thing. My first ever, like, boyfriend that I had was an internet boyfriend, and he lived in St. Augustine. And, like, he told me...
Augustine's beautiful.
He told me about cockroaches that were as big as his hands. And that kind of shit. And I'm like, this sounds like Australia. I want none of this. He tried to convince me to move to Florida for like years, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Nobody should. No. I've lived in Florida for 15 years. Okay. All of my adult years. I only know how to be an adult in Florida, and it's not a good time. Yeah, there are roaches. It's hot. There are also crazy people here. Yeah. Florida man, hello? He's from here. And there's gators in every puddle of water.
I feel like spiritually, Eastern Washington man and Florida man are very similar. Like they could be friends. They could be good
honestly,
friends.
they probably do Brokeback Mountain together. Okay, they take retreats to bang each other in the woods and then pretend like they're straight and hate gay people. I promise. Happy Pride.
Oh, the other thing that I figured out in this chapter is like Michael has like this weird connection to Belle, and
Yeah.
we see it again at the end of this chapter. And then I remembered, I was like, wait, Michael is related. He's a Mayfair. So Belle is Julian's soft brain daughter with he had that was like the incest, like didn't work.
Not a
Did
soft
it didn't
not
it
a
didn't
soft brain incest, baby.
yeah, it was
No,
the soft brain incest baby when the incest didn't
no.
work the way they wanted it to that time.
They said, "Oh, I
And
can't imagine why that went wrong."
and then Michael is like Julian's great great grandson through him banging a nun.
Okay, I'm tired.
I had to
I'm
look
gonna,
that up. I looked it up
I'm gonna
because I
get
was
up.
like, I
I'm
know
gonna get
there's
up and
a
I'm gonna
thing.
walk away.
She's like his great great aunt. That's why Belle and Michael are, thick as thieves. It's
Yeah.
because that's like her baby, really. And Belle was like that kind of person too. Like she's described as being like really sweet and like loving, and she was like besties with the other one. I think Millie was the other one that lived there that was like the adopted daughter of Mary Beth or something.
I don't know how you're keeping all of these names together. I can't. They're
I
all
had
Mayfair 1, Mayfair 2, Wheatfield, Mayfair
Wheatfield.
3.
Wheaties is his own boy. Like you can't.
Oh, mini Wheats. I bet
Oh,
he's
mini Wheats.
cockeyed.
Probably. I mean, the incest in this family. The fact that they're all supposedly beautiful, I don't buy it.
I don't fucking believe you.
Somebody has a
I
Habsburg
don't.
jaw in there. There's no way.
Somebody's cockeyed. Somebody's got a fucked up jaw. Somebody's got a limp, like 1 foot shorter than the other one, respectfully. Like, please don't talk to me. So I'm so done. I'm so ill. I'm gonna tell you something though that's it may piss you off.
I don't piss me off. Let's go.
As much as we fucking hate Michael, you know what I do love? I do love how he is with his Aunt Viv. I do. And in those moments that she wrote that, like how he's so loving to her, made sure that he brought her, because I would have been pissed if he left her out there by herself and just took care of her. Like I could, in those moments alone, I could see, I can see how Rowan could be like, but like she's also like, she's not a compassionate bitch. She's not an empathetic bitch. She's just a rich bitch. You know what I mean? Like she gets so pissed off at him all the time about him having emotions.
Yeah.
She's a robot. She's a robot lady.
Twilight Zone throwback.
the robot.
I love that.
She's so infuriating.
I also like the Aaron and Aunt Viv thing.
Yeah, I love that shit. Like, I love Aaron. And I do love that Rowan asked Aaron to walk her down the aisle. And I'm like, yes, Aaron. Yes. And he probably showed up looking dapper as fuck.
You know saying. He did.
Dapper ass Aaron. Like, you can tell who we like.
Yeah. I kind of have a little crush on Aaron and GL.
I do too. We really like we like old guys here. We just do.
Especially like, I think it's the like the dapperness and the like with Grandpa Highcock for me, like if we're going into another old dude, for me it's just like the audacity of like believing in yourself so hardcore and like thinking you're so hot when you're so obviously not. Because like
that's being delusional.
That's my energy that I need. I need that energy. I'm looking up to you at that point. Like I don't want to bang them.
Technically, you're looking down to him because he's only a foot tall.
He's only a foot tall.
But that's like all I like because they go back to stressing me the fuck out. I don't know why they're together, honestly.
Okay, so let's move on to chapter 37 because
there's not much in it. It's like 2 pages. There's not,
but this is where Rowan realizes that she's required to wear the emerald for the wedding, like when she gets married. And her first thought is like, I'm not telling him. I'm not fucking telling him. And it's
Oh
like,
my gosh, bitch. Like,
if
shut the fuck up.
I literally tell you every fucking thing. Like, most of the thoughts that come across my mind, like, somebody around me knows. If it's not you,
Yeah.
it's like my brother, it's Jay, it's someone. Like, I will, if I have a thought, I say it to someone. Like, I can't
Yes.
imagine being so fucking conniving, especially with somebody I'm going to marry. Like, if I ever got
No.
married again,
You
not
can't
ever.
start it on lies.
No. If
You
I can't
can't.
fucking tell him everything, I'm not marrying that bitch.
She's not the one for you, bro.
No.
No, like if I was to get married, especially like we get it. Michael has a couple million and whatever, but she has billions
Yeah.
of dollars.
I don't need that.
I'm not marrying an old bitch I barely fucking know just because we're the same kind of disgusting. Okay? without a prenup. And just say, well, oh, what's mine is yours, bitch. And I don't tell you that the fucking ghost that I tell you not to worry about slipped a fucking emerald necklace around my neck at night. That's problematic.
Yes. And she
It's
makes this, it's also so annoying to me that she makes such a big show of hating Lasher because she folds so easily.
It's a
eventually.
lie.
It is.
It's a lie, though. She's trying to convince herself that she didn't like that shit on the plane when her first reaction was that she did.
Yeah.
And I think she kind of likes the fact that she can't see him. I think she thinks it's sexy. Honestly. I do. I do.
You come at me in the kitchen at night, tall, dark, and handsome, talking like
You're
with a Scottish accent. Yeah.
You're fucking getting it.
You look like my boy Adam Driver here. You're coming home with me.
I'm just telling you.
We're going to bed.
That's the thing that I was gonna say, because I don't know what it is. What has transpired between the beginning of this book and here? I fucked with it. Lasher over Michael.
You're gonna change. Lasher. Like that's the thing about Lasher is like you're grossed out, intrigued, you're pulled in, and then you're like, oh my god, oh my god, you're the funniest thing that has ever existed.
I'm ready to know his secrets. What are they? What are they? What is he? Well, I know where he came from, kind of, but like, what is it? Whatever it is, it can't be worse than fucking Michael. Oh my god. Oh my god.
No. Michael's the worst man in this book, and this is a book that has Julian and Cortland in it, and Michael is worse.
See, that fucking, because Cortland
is a murderer. He tried to murder my boy fucking Aaron, and that's not okay.
He's a murderer. He's a rapist. He's just a terrible man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's the worst. And Michael's worse?
Yeah.
Spare me.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just because we get to see in Michael's head as he's raping children. And so, like, that's what bothers me. Because obviously Cortland doesn't give a shit about age of consent. Neither did Peter.
None of them do. I think that they
it's
kind
gross.
of like it. You know, like the younger the better, and like, ew, my guy.
And to me, what that's telling me, besides the fact that it's just gross in general, it's disgusting to me. But it's also like your brain is so fucking mushy that you can't deal with adult women and adult people and adult things. You have to fucking prey on children.
They set that up in the beginning when they're giving Michael's history and about the women that he's been with before Rowan. He can't handle grown-up scenarios. Okay?
He's a baby.
He is a baby. He's a baby, and Rowan knows it, and she likes that about him. Okay? Because like, he may have the muscles, but he's so fucking naive, and I'm smarter than everybody, and he's gonna do what I tell him to do. So when he starts crying and I tell him to shut the fuck up, he's gonna do it. That's Rowan. I know that was a lot, but like,
I hate these guys. I hate both of them so much. They're so terrible. God.
Anyways, like, you shouldn't be marrying Michael. Like, if that was a stipulation, I would be like, all right, well, like I've been saying to everybody, I know everything, and he's not gonna trap me, so I'm not gonna marry Mike. I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm gonna put this emerald in a box.
It's not just that too. I think that, again, she wants to get fucking trapped by Lasher. She wants to, because Michael literally tells her. And so does whoever else. It's like the house is a trap. I can't remember somebody else.
Yeah, the cousin.
The cousin, yeah. Like, they literally are saying that we can't be here.
This is a trap.
And she's like, no.
Like, oh,
I'm gonna marry this guy and live in this house, which both things are bad. Like, if you just did one or the other, maybe if you ran away, I don't know. Like, I don't know that Lasher wouldn't have a way in either way, but like
he could. I feel
she wants it too. She fucking wants it. I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry. Everything's pointing to that. I mean, like, come on, sis. I can't.
And then like chapter 38, the next chapter is literally just all
Your note, 80 bag of dicks, Michael.
You dull baby fucker. Yes.
Basically, yeah.
I'm sorry. I was so annoyed because literally this was one of my little like things that I used to do, which was like I would drive around when I lived in Ohio because I'm from the West. We don't have a lot of Victorian houses out here, especially like in the wilderness parts of the state where I live. Like everything's been built in the last 30 years. So
yeah,
when I lived in Ohio, I used to just drive around and I got really into like identifying different types of Victorian houses because I thought they were cool looking, especially Second Empire houses with mansard roofs. I was like really into that and really into like writing stories based in these houses and stuff because I could imagine the lives that were lived in them. And then he brings it in and makes it the lamest, stupidest, most idiotic looking thing ever. And it's embarrassing. You're embarrassing me, Michael. It's like
you're embarrassing me.
It makes me feel like a nerd and I want to punch him for it because it was like a perfectly fine, like little quirk side thing about me. And now it's nerdy because this guy is being a nerd about it and it makes me want to punch him.
It's true. I think it's a little bit redundant for him to make a new Great Expectations. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, why do you need to? Like, do you really need to? Like,
no, he could just invest in, other people.
On top of it, like, businesses. He's not working. I think we talked about this last time. He acts like he's such a like manly man and I work with my hands. He's fucking hiring people to do the work. He's a contractor.
Yep. And I mean, he's not working with his hands. He has to wear gloves all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just know, like, there's already like he already talked about how there's like all of these workers who do all of these great things that are out of work because of this or that. So like, why are you taking work away from them, Michael?
Right.
Just invest. Help them out. You know what I mean? Like,
besides the fact that he's fucking old as shit. Like nobody wants like a 50-year-old out there breaking their fucking back that like they have to.
You're a liability.
Yeah.
And he says that to Rowan, like, are you sure you want to marry an old guy like me? I'm old. I'm your mom's age.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, you are.
Hard 10 above, 10 below rule for me. Like nobody 10 years older or 10 years younger. That's
nobody my parents' age.
Yes.
That's it.
10 years is max, dude. Like
can't do.
I couldn't. God, my parents were so old. I couldn't imagine it.
No, I mean my parents aren't that old. They had me when they were 20, but like I can't do that. I could never like looking at my parents' friends like no.
After Michael like freaks out touching Deirdre's nightgown, which is again yikes as fuck. Now he's like talking about he takes his gloves off and touches Beatrice and he's like, oh, she's good. Which first of all, she's a rich bitch. She's not good. She's done some shit in her time. You can't tell me she hasn't.
Didn't she just come at him and she was like, yeah. Oh, why do you wear gloves? Oh, you have superpowers? Oh, touch me. You won't mind, will you? Yoink. And yoinks the glove.
Yeah, but then he's like, right after that, he's like, I'm going to go touch this guy and I'm going to touch all these people. Nobody. It's like, bitch, you just like almost died touching a nightgown. Why do you think you need to touch everyone? It's weird, brother. It's fucking weird.
Again, I think he kind of likes it. I think they're fucked up and they like weird shit. Especially like stuff that's bad for him. Stuff that could like borderline cause him a heart attack and then he gets pissed when Rowan doctor moms him. Like, don't check my heart even though I'm sweaty and you can hear my heart palpitations down the hall.
And I've admitted that I'm 900 years old. Fuck. He is
This
not the sexy
podcast.
old man.
Listen, all I hope is that this podcast brings all the Annegirls out of the woodwork so we can laugh together, because we cannot be the only ones. Okay?
Yes.
We can't. We just can't.
Yeah, and then again, we have more of their terrible relationship dynamic where, like, they're sitting there saying, you tell me if you saw Lasher, right? That bitch isn't going to tell you.
No,
She's gonna
of
lie to
course I
you.
would. Why would you ask me that? Is it because you can see that I'm lying through my teeth all the time?
And
Is that why?
they're both supposedly psychic, but neither of them can read each other and figure out that the other's full of bullshit. Like,
Listen. Denial is more than just a river in Egypt, okay? They don't want to see that shit about each other because they think they're so hot. If I tell you that if I don't put up with your bullshit, okay, I lose my hot piece of rich ass. And that's
I
it.
mean, he kind of says as much a few times. I'll give him that. He does kind of say, she's fucking annoying, but she's so hot. I want to fuck her. So
He says that shit too. He's emotional and he's naive, but goddamn the way his chest hair glistens in the moonlight.
Ew,
and his nut hairs call my name at night while we're sleeping. Rowan likes weird things.
In the event that I ever get in a relationship again, if I ever talk about his nut hair,
I'm taking you down.
Just get an
taking you out
elephant gun or
immediately.
something.
I will tranquilize you in the neck, and then I will take you potato gun to the face, and then I'm going to take you out into the woods for an intervention. What do we say about nut hairs? Nothing.
Nothing about nut hairs ever.
Nothing ever.
Michael is so scared of Lasher, but he's Julian's descendant. I'm just saying Lasher's going to get in there at some point. He's gotta.
I think if Lasher really wanted to, he could fuck them both. Honestly, Michael would fold. Okay, Michael would fold. Okay, all Lasher got to do is take them gloves off. What them gloves do? Help me.
This is also the chapter where fucking Michael answers the siren's call again to jump into another body of water.
You fucking estúpido.
So dumb.
Stay on dry land, idiot.
This man has near drowned more times.
You obviously can't swim, my guy. Get out. Stay away from the pool. And he's out there by himself. Dr. Sailor wasn't there to save you.
Yes.
Her boat wouldn't fit in the pool anyway.
It's so ridiculous. I just a thought occurred to him. Why not go into the pool? A thought would occur to me.
Because
to the fuck out of the pool.
Literally just because. Didn't you almost fucking die in the ocean, you idiot?
He just walks out into the ocean and then is surprised when, he almost drowns and he has to get rescued by a dapper Dr. Sailor, but
he's so dumb. He's so dumb, I can't take it. I can't.
And then, of course, after that happens, he has to have Aaron argue with him to tell Rowan about it because he's always gonna hide shit from her and she's always gonna hide shit from him because they're terrible.
Yeah. The difference is, though, that Rowan's never gonna confide those things in another person because she does not want to be told what to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Michael needs to be told what to do.
I also just hate that she's trying to get pregnant so hard throughout all this.
But I mean, when you have infinite wealth, who cares what happens? You know what I mean? Bringing a child into this world?
Yes, it's terrible. Don't bring that kid into that.
No. One of your relatives is gonna fuck your kid.
It may be Michael, but
we don't know because that's
actually, to be honest, lots of their relatives fuck the kid because the kid's Lasher. Spoiler.
I knew it. Because when they're talking about the spooky ghost stories and the 13 witches and the keyhole, I think that's so interesting I feel like Rowan just knew. Michael's like, you're the 13th witch. Hello.
He fucking knew.
Hello.
Yeah.
She knew. And she was like,
I'm gonna get me some ghost dick. Woo!
period. I'm telling you. She was like, we're gonna relive that night on the plane. I can't. Everyone was hysterical over that. Like,
I don't fucking fault you for wanting to do that, but let's be honest about it. Let's just be honest.
right. I mean, especially after the wedding, because at that point they're locked in. He's not gonna leave her. You could really just tell him whatever it says. Be like, all right, sit down, babe. Let me unpack all the lies that I've told you leading up to this moment. You're not gonna do shit about it. Well, at least we can start with a clean slate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then
I loved the ghost story.
Yeah, 39 was the ghost story, the party before the wedding.
But also, at this party, you know what pissed me off really, really hard? Really hard. The way they're describing the servants, because again, she doesn't have to do this shit. A very black waiter with a big ass head, dark skinned waitresses. And then they say, like, oh, a Haitian person. Why don't you just stay that way? A black person. A black waiter. If you have to mention color, but not, why does she do that? Why does she go ham like that? Why? For what reason?
I have no idea.
I don't understand. I don't.
I wish you would turn it on the whites.
I'm just saying, a bitch the shade of a piece of paper. You know what I mean?
That's me.
Whitey McGee over there.
Fucking mayonnaise on a saltine cracker.
She was the color of a white Crayola crayon. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I have to say about that.
Everything about the way she deals with the different races in this book. No. Throw it away.
Like, I get her saying a Haitian person, African American, whatever, because she does it with the Irish people. Just make them the same when you're not giving me a historical depiction of slavery and blah, 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 blah in the slave times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even that was a lot. You don't have to keep doing it. And if I find more peppered in this book, you better believe I'm going to bring it up, because
you should. Yeah.
How many times? Anne? I think this might be the most. I'm not going to finish that.
I think it's good that you bring it up, because the thing about it is that I do think that, especially based on like her greenlighting the new Interview with the Vampire and stuff, I do think that maybe she doesn't have terrible intention, but it still needs to be brought up, because you can't like dissect the racism that's inherent in like the way you were raised, the way you were brought up, the society you're in, if you can't see it and like call it out for what it is. And sometimes for whites, it's just like you hear it so much that it doesn't compute as racist. So it's good to come in and point it out so that people know that when they're reading. It's just like, I mean, H.P. Lovecraft is an entirely different like piece of shit, but going in and like knowing what you're going into is important when you're interacting with his work, because then you're not like lulled into that complacency and it doesn't get a root in you. So I think it's really important that we call it out. So every time you see it, please call it out.
I'm gonna do, because a piece of me wonders, now that you bring up the new Interview with the Vampire, if maybe she's sat with this, because there's been a lot of time between when this was written and like when she passed away. If maybe that's not her way of like trying to atone for how much of it that she's used, because I'm sure she's sat on it. I'm sure she's thought about it afterward, because I can't be the only one bringing it up.
No, and I think like I hope that this has been talked about. I haven't consumed a lot of content about it, and I know she was very notoriously did not like fan works and like fan interaction with it, with the material, which sucks. Like personally, I think that that's a terrible way of dealing with it, but I can't really go back and critique it's her work, so
I just hope.
I hope to. Let's just skip to Lasher, because he's the only thing that really mattered in this. The wedding was just a blip, and it was the only thing I'll say about the wedding is look who their fucking flower girl is. And Michael's gonna fuck that baby.
the instant they introduced Mona, I was like, my heart just like
Mm-hmm.
crumpled in my chest.
Yeah.
Um,
The only
I
good part
mean,
of this whole passage, all these chapters, is that little bit at the end, in my opinion, where we get to see Lasher.
mhm. Yeah, no, honestly, I was about it.
Yeah, you come into
I
my
was
kitchen talking Scottish to me, like, let's
okay, but
go.
like, were
Let's
they
go.
saying, were they saying like when she was like, oh, he doesn't look the same as when I first saw him, that he tailored his appearance to what she likes and the
I
dudes
think
that she
so.
brings onto her boat?
Probably. I would say
What a
probably.
bad boy, Ghost, man.
Yeah.
What a bad boy. But I'm like, yep, that would be exactly the way to fucking get me if I was being stubborn and like, oh, whatever, you can't tell me what the fuck to do. And you show up as Jensen Ackles in my kitchen,
Show up
you're
as
getting
Ted
it.
Raimi. You show
You're
up.
getting it. It's happening. We're
Yeah.
like, Michael's gotta go. Michael needs to move the fuck out
Get the fuck
because
out of here.
we're gonna ghost bang in every room in this big ass house.
I am looking forward to the chapters coming up just because I feel like we're just pumping the brakes on the action now. And I feel like hopefully this vision of Lasher and like the wedding being
Well,
over is the release and that we're
yeah,
going to
because there can't
start.
be anything else except for Lasher. They're married
Yeah,
already. The house is finished. Give me something.
me something. Yeah. I just,
Please.
I don't know.
Same.
We're saying give me Lasher, but I think we're going to regret it. And I think it's going to be
I
like when
know.
I'm editing episode 2 while we're here or like episode 3 and I'm like, oh God, I forgot about that part. Like I shouldn't have said
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
generally how I go into most interactions with men. Give it to me, and then, oh God, what have I done? Instant regret. So,
Fair enough.
no surprise here.
Thank you for listening to the Annegirls Podcast. You can find us on the internet at annegirls.ghostinthemagazine.site.